Good evening and welcome. This is TR News and Reviews, and I'm yours truly, TR Nail Rex, reporting or representing for the TR Show and the TR News. I want to say good evening and welcome to everybody in the building this evening. Do invite your friends and families, your neighbors. Tell them that we're doing a thing over here. Why is it feeling like I'm frozen? Hold on, let me check because on the side it seems like I'm frozen. That's not good for us. Um, are we having a little bit of technical difficulties? Let me check one more time. Okay, it seemed like we got frozen from it, so I'm going to just play this track one more time to make sure that we have everything running in order. So just give me a quick minute. Let me just make sure everything is okay. In the meantime, if you will, please share the stream out. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that we're over here tonight. Tonight we're talking about, of course, how to deal with negative comments, negative criticism, how to deal with negative people. What do you do when you have been backlashed, you have been terrorized with negative comment from negative people? What do you do? We are awaiting one of our special guests this evening, and I want to say, you all, I want you to be prepared. I want you all to be prepared because one of my guests, I've been having a little bit of struggling getting to that particular guest. So there's a strong chance if my guests don't show up tonight, we're gonna have to take this on our hand and discuss it one with another. You tell me your opinion of how you deal with negative comments and negative people. I will tell you mine, and of course, we want to hear from all of you this evening. How do you do, or how do you cope rather, with negative comment and negative people? How do you operate in their presence, behind, or these people? How do you work? How do you cope? So that's what we have today. So we're gonna be right back with you right after this track or after these messages. Thank you so much for coming. Bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. And remember to share the stream out. Invite a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we're gonna be here tonight, rocking and rolling. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, welcome back. I am your host, TR Nayarex, and we're expecting special guests this evening. But until our guests arrive, I guess we're going to just kick off the ball rolling. Of course, with yours truly, TR Nayarex. Thank you so much for coming. The topic this evening is how to deal with negative criticism and negative people. How do you cope with them? That's what we're looking at this evening, and so that's what we're talking about this evening. But first, let us talk about a few ways in which we can deal with these situation and these people. So, number one, stay calm. That's one of the first things that you want to do in a negative situation when someone is negative and their criticism or their comment is negative. Stay calm. A next thing that you want to do in these serious times or in these situations is to consider the source and the value of the criticism. Consider the source and the value of the criticism. Number three, acknowledge that you might be wrong. Acknowledge that you might be wrong. Number four, understand that you can't please everybody. That is the key one. Understand that you cannot please everybody. I want to repeat that one. Understand that you can't please everyone. There you go. Number five, respond with grace. Respond with grace. Okay? Respond with grace. So, those are just 5 tips on how to get through negative criticism. All right, let us look at number one. How to handle negative criticism. Criticism hurts. It can come from a superior at work or from a perfect stranger with an iPhone and a loud opinion. It can be about your work, your writing, your looks, your personality. It can ruin a whole day and and topple self-esteem. Yes, that is what a negative criticism or a negative comment or thought about you can do. It can ruin your entire day. Okay? All right, let's continue. It's easy to be defensive when on the receiving end of such criticism. When we fear the judgment of others, but hurtful words and helpful critiques alike can seem like bitter condemnation. Absolutely facts. All right, we're going to continue. I spent the better part of my life wholly concerned with the opinions of others. The fear of judgment and disapproval was crippling. What was I afraid of? Words can be hurtful, yes, but they are just words, really. I don't necessarily agree with that. I look back now at the time spent fretting over what others thought of me and see it as time wasted. That I can agree with. It's possible to control what it's possible, no, sorry, it's impossible to control what a person will say, but it's possible to be in control of the way you internalize, process, and react to criticism. Okay. Number one, stay calm. Step back from the situation. Your first instinct might be to immediately respond or defend yourself, but resist the urge. Delay your response until you've gathered your thoughts by allowing your emotions to run their course before addressing the situation. You prevent yourself from acting defensively or saying something you may regret later. If you receive a critical email or blog, allow yourself to at least an hour. Allow yourself at least an hour before you respond. If the criticism occurs in person, respond graciously with a polite but generic response. For example, I appreciate the input. It gives me something to think about. Address the issue again after you've had a bit of time and space to think about it. All right, so that is the number one thing or approach that you want to target negative comments and criticism. Um, I see Tiffany Channel in the building. Tiffany, if you're if you're dressed, because I know people like to walk around naked in their homes, and so I'm going to say, if you are dressed this evening and you would like to join me on panel, I have a lot to talk about because us as YouTubers, we are faced with all kind of criticism. People talk evil about us. People talk negatively about us. How do you react? How do you treat people who speak down to you? How do you treat people who speak negatively about you? What do you do? I'll be sharing the link not long from now because my special guest who was supposed to come on tonight, there's a strong chance that this person might not show up. So we're going to be talking this about this among ourselves, and we're going to try to trash it out because everybody in the chat right now, I am convinced that at some point in your life you've gone through some negative critics, some negative criticism, you've gone through some negative people, you've gone through some negative, all kinds of negative. You know, people say all kinds of negative things about you, and even when you don't trouble people, even when you were minding, you know, you were mindful of your own business, you were doing your own stuff in your own time, people have a way to say, Tiffany, this is not a porno. Clothes on, not off. No, I know she's not going to come on naked. I'm just saying sometimes women in their houses, they kind of walk around naked when they're home alone or if they are home with people who they are comfortable with. So because this was a sudden call, I'm just saying, just maybe by chance, you know, if she's naked, you know, she can get some clothes on and jump on here quickly. All right, thank you everybody for coming in the chat. Let us go to number 2 quickly, and so I can open up the phone line or I can drop the link so somebody else can come on here and share their opinion on what they think, you know, a negative criticism can be and the impact it can have on one's life. All right, let us continue. Let us continue into this program. Number 2, consider the source and the value of the criticism. I repeat that. Consider the source and the value of the criticism. There are 2 types of criticism, constructive and deconstructive. Constructive criticism comes from a positive place and is meant to help you better yourself. Sorry, not deconstructive, I said that wrong. Destructive criticism is meant only to tear you down. It can be harder than you might think. To discern between the two, not all constructive criticism is delivered gently, and not all destructive criticism is delivered harshly. Set aside the tone and focus on what is actually being said. Is there something to be learned from the critique, or are they just useless, hurtful words? Those are things that you need to take into consideration before your response, of course. All right, we're going to go down a little further. Another tip is to help to you discern the helpful from the hurtful. Consider the source of the criticism. Is it coming from a faceless, nameless stranger on the internet? A teacher or co-worker who respects you? Take the time to ask yourself whether or not the opinion of the person criticizing you is worth worrying about. Once you've identified the criticism as destructive rather than constructive, it becomes easier to forget about it and continue going about your business of being awesome. Okay. That's the second thing to do. The third thing that you want to do is to acknowledge that you might be wrong. Number 3, acknowledge that you might be wrong. This is perhaps the most crucial and most difficult step for you, for most of us. If you've identified criticism as constructive, allow yourself to acknowledge that the person offering said criticism, no matter how harsh or poorly worded, might just have a point. It's good to be confident in yourself and your abilities, but it's also important to accept that there will be always someone who knows more than you do on the subject or another. If you stay on the defensive, you rob yourself of valuable opportunities for growth. And I want to jump on here and say something, because that is absolutely something that we need to take into consideration. That is something that we absolutely need to take into consideration, because many of us struggle with these situations. You know, we get defensive. I will tell you this. Most of the time, depending on the topic that I'm speaking on, I will tell people straight up, okay, if we're talking about some things, I will step back. I will take the back seat and allow you to speak, because there's a strong chance that you might be um that you might know a lot more than me on the particular subject. I, however, sometimes warn people based on the subject. I normally say sometimes, if we're going to discuss Bible, you probably want to study a little harder if you want to come to debate somebody like me. If you're going to discuss anything that has to do with the Bible, and I did not say religion, because in my studies, I have not finished with all religions. I scratched the surface of Islam. I scratched the surface of Judaism. I scratched the surface of different religions, Buddhism, and so forth and so on. Christianity. I think I've gone through the bigger part of Christianity, because we were raised in the Western world, and most of us from the Western world have a bigger understanding of Christian Christianity, because most of us lives have been impacted one way or the next by Christianity. Either we met some Christians that destroyed us, or we met some Christians that build us, or we were born into a Christian home where all it was about Christianity, or whatever the case might be. So you need to make sure that the topic that you're discussing, you know what you know. You have properly researched and you know what you're saying. So if somebody stop you in your tracks and say, hey, like you always say, I know this and I know that, but I may not know, hold on, but I might not know this and that. Yes, I always say that. I always say that. Did somebody come out the bushes? Tiffany is saying, yeah, lol. Yo-Yo? Yeah. Didn't you see my message? Oh my God, Yo-Yo is here. Yo-Yo, we might have need for you on the panel this evening. Good God, you're in here. The Miss Yo-Yo show is in the building. Thank you so much for coming in. I might have need for you on the panel this evening, so put your clothes on. Why do I always think that all girls are naked in their homes? Am I a pervert? I don't think so. I just think that it is okay. It is a good thing to get comfortable in your home and take all your clothes off. If you're home alone, or if you're home with people that you're comfortable with. So it's not me thinking perverted. I'm just saying, if you're at home alone, take your clothes off. Get comfortable. Lay around. Open up, freshen up, and feel the natural vibration. You know what I mean? Yes. All right. Back to the story. I want to say thank you all for coming in this evening. We're talking about bad criticism. We're also talking about negative people. How do you handle them? How do you operate around them? Do you cut them off? What his name? Cryptocurrency said he chopped them with a machete. Cryptocurrency said, I will chop them with a machete, whip them in two halves, whatever the case might be. All right, let us go back to the story, or let us go back to the reading that I have here. Acknowledge that you might be wrong. That was the third one. Okay? All right, we're going to go into the fourth one. Understand that you can't please everyone. And that is one of the most important lessons to learn here. At the end of the day, you cannot and will never please everyone. It doesn't matter what you do. If you give your life to save the world, you did not please everybody. If you have done the best thing that you could have ever done for everybody that you've come across, you have not done your best. From their perspective, by the way, not from your perspective. Phyllis Brown, Indestructible, is in the building. Thank you so much for coming in. Now, we're talking about, I'm sure that 95% of us, if not 100%, as a matter of fact, I can safely say I think 100% of us that are in the chat right now have been faced with some negative or harsh or sometimes even stupid comments. So we're talking about that this evening. What do you do when someone criticizes you negatively? When somebody talk about you in a negative way, what do you do? How do you approach the situation? How do you treat them? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat the situation? We are talking about that and more this evening. All right, while we are waiting on our special guest to turn up, we're going to still continue talking about it. Number 4, understand that you can't please every dang body. All right? That being said, you might just take time to think about it and find that you are still, find that you still disagree with the criticism offered. If that's the case, stick to your guns and politely continue to go about doing what you're doing. It is impossible to please everybody, and at one point or another, you'll need to decide what feels right to you and go with it. I believe it was an ancient Greek philosopher who once penned these wise words. Sorry. The haters gonna hate. Hate, 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 hate. And let them tell you, even in the year 300 BC, that guy was on point. Okay? The haters are gonna hate. Hate, 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 hate. And let me tell you, even in the year 300 BC, that guy was on point. What guy are we talking about? We're talking about the Greek philosopher here. Was on point, okay? Ancient Greek, we're talking about. All right, we're going to move down to number 5. Number 5 is respond with grace. Now, respond with grace is the number 5th thing, or the number 5, or the number 5th thing you want to do. Destructive criticism never warrants a response. Destructive criticism never warrants a response. Quickly click delete on hateful emails that benefit no one and wash your hands of that negativity. That sounds like me. SF Rose can tell you. The same can be said for in-person interactions. Constructive criticism, however, should be addressed respectfully. Once you're ready to do so, thank the person for their input and then agree or disagree as you see it fit. Taking the time to politely explain your reasoning if necessary. You have the power to turn these critiques into learning experiences or opportunities for valuable discussion. Use it. Okay, there ended a portion of the reading of, I can't say God's holy words this time, but some positive words that you can take to apply to your life and make your life a little bit better. All right, I'm gonna tell you some of the things that I talk about, especially when it has to do with SF Rose. Now, SF Rose, if I may bring her into the argument a little bit, SF Rose will literally search for something that is negative. Wait, hold on. Let me get it for you. If somebody was saying negative things about SF Rose, she will listen to it. She will listen to every negative word, even when she's going to cry after and said she can't believe that someone said that about her. She will even go search for it. If somebody hates her, she will want to go find out what they have to say about her. Even when it is ripping her into pieces, she wants to hear. Me? Nope. If you have nothing good to say to me, your conversation will be deleted as soon as it enters my phone, email, text message, whatever it comes through. As I read the first couple lines, if it is destructive and has nothing for me to benefit, delete instantly. I don't want to read the rest of it. If you have something bad to say to me, you better start with the good thing first. You better start your message by highlighting the good first, so it gets me to read more. Because if you put it at the top, chances are your message will be deleted. Hey TR, I hope this message finds you in a good spot. I hope God is on your side today. Well, God is always on my side. or I am always on God's side, rather. I hope your day is going good. I hope the sun is shining in your department. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I have a bone to pick with you. I'm like, okay, let me read. Last night we were at a festival and I realized that you were dancing with my friend's girlfriend and I wasn't so pleased with it. You get my attention there. I listen to what you have to say because you're stating the facts, you're stating something that happened, and I will take the time out to listen to what you have to say. But if you start to say, TR, you're such a bitch, you're such a dog, I saw you, I'm like, hello? There's a strong chance that I might. Anyway, Anyway, we're going to open up the stream for opinions right now. I have not been reading too much in the chat. So what we're going to do, we're going to drop the link down for... I was hoping Tiffany would come on. I am sure she's faced with some negative comment in her days when she was a little bit fat, you know. It's okay. She don't take offense to it anymore. I can say she was fat because now she looks like an angel. She looks so damn good. So good that I am saying to myself, I can imagine her husband, her ex-husband, you know, all worried. Imagine, you know, picturing what he's lost. You know, when he looks at her and realize that he could have had this wonderful woman, and he must have been thinking, I was too hasty or I was too stupid to allow such wonderful lady to slip by me. So I am doing better. Okay. All right, welcome to the new people in the chat. Let me just take some time to welcome all the people in the chat because I have not greeted anybody so far tonight. So I'm going to start right here. Greetings to Shonda's Graphic. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, SF Rose, for participating. Thank you, Vermont Paint and Photos, for coming. Tony Damien, thank you for coming as well. We also see Kane Knight in the building. Kane Knight, thank you. Kane A. Knight, thank you for coming in this evening. We appreciate your presence. We also have I was a piglet. Tiffany Channel says I was a piglet, you know, back in the day. She's wonderful, like an angel right now. I don't see, we have Amy Carnival in the building. We have also Greg Manley. Here is Greg Manley right here. Thank you for coming. Phyllis Brown is here as well. I was told my channel is stupid. You know what I do? I assume I saw more. Somebody told Phyllis Indestructible that her channel is stupid. You know what I do? I saw more. Okay. There you go. Phyllis knows what it feels like to have some level of, you know, of destructive comments. Somebody came on my channel and watched one video. As a matter of fact, I should probably pull that up and let you see it. Check out my channel if you want to get rich on Bitcoin. Okay. That's what what's his name? He's been here all along. Crypto Gizmo. And for those who know about Crypto Gizmo, you know that you know what that is talking about, right? I think you all know what that is talking about. No, really. What are you saying? No, really, to Aisha? Aisha is present as well. She's saying, okay, so someone came to my channel, this very same one, and watch a video. I had a video looped about the riots while George Floyd riots were hot. I posted a video. As a matter of fact, it was a live stream, and I posted a loop of riots that was going on across the countries, and some was on repeat. Some of the clips repeat like 4 times in the video. You know, they came back. And somebody came to my video and my channel and watched that video only. And their comment was, this channel is irrelevant. This channel makes no sense. This was a freaking loop. Okay. So because it's a loop, it makes no sense. Now there is a channel on the internet, on the cable. I think it is Encore or something like that. And on that channel, it has the same 5 movies on rotation for sometimes the entire week. The entire week. So when you sit in the morning and watch the first movie, which is 2 hours and maybe 40 minutes long, you watch a second or third or fourth or fifth one, and when the fifth one done in the 10th to the 14th or 15th hour, that would have been more than half of the day already. And they repeat them at the end of the fifth video, the first one start to play again. Now, are you going to tell me that the channel is not relevant? No. You go to the channel, watch the movie that you want, and keep it moving. You don't say the channel is irrelevant because it is on repeat. Now, most of the things that we've heard during our lifetime, we've heard them before. So because someone say a word that you've heard before, does that make the person irrelevant? No. Now, my response to the person, you came to my video, you watch one video, and that makes me irrelevant? Okay, so the fact that you... Hold on, I want to make sure that because I didn't delete the comment. I didn't delete it. So it might still be hanging around on my channel. Let me see if I find it. I don't know if it is still there. I don't even remember exactly what video it is on, but I'm going to look for it and share it with you. In the meantime, let me share the link. Of course, I should share the link. I want one of you to jump on up here. One of the girls. I hope... I'm looking for Tiffany or Miss Yo-Yo Show to jump on up here and, you know, share with us. We have Greg Travel Vlogs in the building. Thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate your presence in the building. Thank you so much for coming. That's the link for someone who wants to join me to share your opinion. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you... And listen, I only want you up here if you have been through some level of criticism. You were fat and people cursed you about being fat. How did you manage being fat and having people telling you that you're fat? You know, whatever the situation is, if you were maga, and somebody were like to tell you all the days of your life that you look like a piece of crap, or if you considered yourself ugly, let's say you were not so refined, and you know someone considered you ugly, how do you react? How do you behave in this situation? And we want to know a little more of that. So we drop the link so you can jump on up here as I search for this video. Miss Yo-Yo Show. Oh, she's here. Oh, so we can bring her on. Oh my goodness, look who is here. Oh my
Hey everybody.
Lord.
Hey everybody.
Well, I not say nothing yet. Not say nothing yet. Or you talk so much. Please don't keep quiet. Please. Oh my God, Miss Tuck.
Y'all can hear baby girl in the background. I'm sorry.
Did I just freeze?
Yes, you're frozen.
I know you are. Oh, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. Okay, great. So here we go. So guys, before you say anything, Tiffany, you're too beautiful to just talk. Let me introduce you, please. All right.
God bless you.
So guys, in this lady that you see on your screen right now, her name is Tiffany Channel. You can see there
That is not my name, TR. I swear to God. That's not my name.
Go again?
That's not my name.
Holy crap. What's your name?
Tiffany Chanel.
No, listen me. You're talking about my pronunciation here. Leave my pronunciation for
No,
Christ.
it's Chanel, like the store, but with 2 L's, like the perfume.
Oh.
It's not channel like the TV channel.
Okay. All right, accepted. Good God, you're attacking my what you call it? Hold on. What you call it? You're attacking my accent here. You know I'm Jamaican. I'm gonna call you chat. All right.
Carolina Hillbilly used to call me Channel 2 until he watched one of my videos and he was like, "Oops."
Okay. All right. I want you to not say anything yet because I'm not using my headset, and so when you're speaking, I'm going to have to kind of mute myself to not have the delay and what have you. So I'm going to introduce you. I see Yo-Yo jump on here for 2 seconds and jump. Oh, she's back here. She went to put on her clothes because she was naked as well. All right. I'm sure she did not go put her makeup on, so it had to be something else. All right, so guys, the Tiffany that you see on your screen right now, maybe a year or two ago, she will tell you when she comes on to defend herself. A year or two ago, or some time ago, she was 300 pounds. And when you think of a 300-pound lady, you know that she can't fit into the screen. I can imagine that she would be like, from panel to panel, she would fit all the way across the street. But now look at her, all beautiful. And I can imagine, I'm just kind of wondering, what were people saying when they see you, or they were afraid to say it to you, but they would say it behind your back, and then you would hear it after, look at her, she's so disgusting and blah blah blah, whatever they said. We're going to allow her to come and introduce herself properly and tell you what she is, who she is, what she's about. I'm going to disappear off of here for a minute and put her on the forefront. Let she tell you what she's about, and then we're going to ask her a few questions. We're going to also bring on Miss Yo-Yo too. As a matter of fact, before we bring her on, let's let's put her back down in the. No, let's keep her. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, she's ready. We're going to bring both of them on to say what they have to say. But let us have first Tiffany Channel saying what she has to say to us, and then we're going to bring on Miss Yo-Yo after that, and so forth and so on. So go right ahead, Tiffany. This is yours. All beautiful lady, come on. Say what you have to say. This is your show right now. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Y'all see my auntie Yo-Yo? Hey, auntie. So I just wanted to thank TR and SF Rose for having us up here. I do feel honored. My channel is about being fit in every aspect of your life. So the name of my channel is Fit FIT with TIF 100. The F stands for finances. Okay, I'll get the pizza for you in a minute. The F stands for finances. The I stands for inside your body, and the T stands for being fit in your thoughts. I'm trying to keep baby girl out of the camera because this is not a kids show. And so, and then it's kind of like a play on words. The T IF is my name, Tiff for Tiffany. And so the 100 stands for the 100 pounds that I lost 130 pounds. And then I also paid off over $120,000 in student loan debt. So I talk about being fit in your finances, in your body, and in your thoughts. That's me. I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay,
No.
and that was of course Tiffany Chanel. She just gave you a brief introduction of who she is, what she's about. Don't pay the kid much mind. Is just the kid is just seeking the attention that they deserve. So you just understand. Now we have the famous Bush lady. Now this lady right here, her beauty is, when you think of her resilient, may I you is that the right way to say it? When you think of her beauty and how wonderful she is. Now, how did she achieve or come by all this beauty? Is because she stayed in the bushes and she hide away from, the everyday to day life and people. I'm not sure if she was afraid of criticism why she stayed in the bush, but we're going to ask her to just come on out and tell us, about her. It's time to shine. Tell us about you, who you are, what you're about. And then we're going to ask both of you ladies. I'm sure at some point in time in your life, you've gone through a level of criticism. And I'm sure I'm not talking about the good one. I'm talking about the destructive one where people try to tear you apart, tell you that you're good for nothing, that you're worthless, that you're whatever, whatever, whatever. Because no matter how good you are, no matter how sweet you are, no matter how adorable you are, there is going to be this one person who takes their words to stab you constantly. You piece of crap, you piece of this, you piece of that, and they keep rub it in your system until one day, if you're not careful of how you respond, of how you operate around these people, it will destroy you. You will stay home and cry, 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 and say, why me? Why? And all that kind of a thing. So here is Miss Yo-Yo. She's going to tell you a little about herself, and so we can understand who she is and what she's about, and so forth and so on.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? So, my name is Miss Yo-Yo. It's Yolanda, but they call me Yo-Yo for short. Just like William, they call him Bill for short, or same thing. But I call myself the Miss Yo-Yo Show because I I have a lot of experience in a lot of things. I'm a DJ. I am a food service director for a district school, so I'm into nutrition as well. I am married, and I've been married 4 times. Don't tell anybody. Um, I am a karaoke business owner. Not, I don't just sing karaoke, but I own my own karaoke business. And when it comes to people and things, um, I have a lot of experience in how to handle people because I have not only had to handle people being a disc jockey for 25 years, I had to handle people when they were inebriated. So, and then my mother was a perfectionist. So I have a lot of social anxieties, meaning that I always feel that I'm not doing something right. And so when it comes to criticism and negativity, of course, I had to deal with it on a constant basis. If I'm DJing and I play the wrong song that a person don't like, of course, tomatoes is thrown. And then, it's like it was always negativity on a daily basis in my profession. So that's the reason why when I saw this topic, I ran in here and I am out of the bushes. Can y'all hear me? Hmm.
TR has himself muted.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yes. I couldn't hear that last part a while ago. I was wondering, am I lost or something? So the last part I didn't hear it.
So the last part, all I said is that when I saw your topic, I ran right in here and I came out of the bushes.
Okay, that I heard. That I heard. So now we have an introduction of these two ladies. And before we go any further, I want to quickly say welcome to Kimon Reed Unstoppable, and of course Sheldon Unstoppable Royal. Thank you for coming. I see you saying you next. Are you saying that you want to come up here and talk about your situation, or what is it there? All right. So what we're going to talk about now is how did you get out of your situation? First, I'm going to tell you a very small story about myself. And so you can feel comfortable to say whatever you want to say. Um, I personally don't judge you. And I want to think that all the people in the chat, they're not so judgmental. Some of them are. Yes, some of them in the chat, they are very judgmental. I am not judgmental. And we're going to ask you all to be respectful. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my situation. In 2018, I met a girl from Europe and I got involved with her. I'm going to say this story quickly because I'm not going to tell the entire story because I want you all to come on and talk about, facing criticism, whether it be destructive or constructive. We want you to tell how did you deal with your destructive comments, and how did you deal with your constructive comment. How did you decipher what was destructive as opposed to what was constructive, and how did you apply them to your life to make yourself a better person? So I was in Europe with this girl that I met, and of course, we had some arrangement, and things didn't go the way it should go. She came to Jamaica to visit me, and when she came to Jamaica to visit me, things didn't go well, and we had a breakup. And after the breakup, she was very annoying. She was just in my inbox time after time. I said, we don't need to be speaking like this. We are not together anymore. And so she was constantly at me, and then I blocked her. And when I blocked her, all hell broke loose. She became all aggressive. She became what you call somebody who is following you around again. What's the name for that?
Stalker.
Stalker. Thank you very much. She became a stalker. She stalked me, and she went to my Facebook page. She posted on there that I am a what was it? Narcissist. I am a She called me all kinds of names, and she go to my friends inbox and tell them, beware of me. I am a user. I am a thief. She called me all the names that you could think of. And when she couldn't get to me enough on there, she went to my Instagram and she slaughtered me. She went to all my social media platform. She went to my ex-girlfriends. She said she was building a hate club with them, and they all came together and they all were attacking me and telling the world how I was nasty and blah 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 blah. And they started attacking SF Rose. So SF Rose became a part of this whole system, and became SF Rose became my problem. I'm going to tell you how. Now, I would not talk to this girl. I would not respond to her messages. When she tried to tear me down, I would pretend like I don't see it. And so guess what? I blocked her everywhere that I could block her, so she was not existing anywhere. Now she started talking to SF Rose in her email. And then SF Rose would read to me what she said. Now that was her only medium now to get to me, because I block her everywhere and I don't read her messages. I delete what I can delete, but now she was getting to me via SF Rose. SF Rose would talk to her and have dialogues via email and then read them to me. She said, "You're a piece of crap." She said, "You are worthless." She said, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to hear anything else. Keep your conversations between you and her. And, that was a whole story. But I happened to overcome the problems that I had then and there, and eventually I got rid of her. And she was tired because I never respond to her. I pretend like she didn't exist, and then eventually she fades away. Now, for both of you, I am sure, being married for 4 times, Miss Yo-Yo Show, I am
I said
sure.
don't tell anybody.
All right. All right. I am sure, being married for 4 times, your experience is like, and when I say experience, I'm talking about personalities. When you have shared your personal space with personalities, you kind of take and you give, and you take and you give, and you take and you give, and you understand things from different perspective, because everybody think differently. They contribute differently to your life, and I'm sure the onlookers from the outside had something to say as well. Now, how did you get around people saying whatever they have to say? Because as I said before, even if you were the most perfect person on the planet, people are going to say bad things. More so, you're imperfect, not like I, who is very perfect. I'm the only perfect person on the planet. And stop it. Stop. All right, so we're going to allow these two ladies to I'm not sure who wants to go first and talk about, how you dealt with criticism. Oh, Miss Yo-Yo Show. All right, great. So we're going to bring you on first. Me?
She's
Oh,
pointing at me.
her.
I'll go
Her.
first. I'll go first because
No, we're going
I
to
have
bring
too
on
much
Miss
to do
Yo-Yo
over
first to
here.
tell us.
See?
We want to say greetings to Tommy Travels. Thank you for coming in. God bless you. She called you every name under the sun. Yes, she made a book about me. In fact, she was writing a book about me, and she made a club and called it the Hate Club about me. I'm going to talk a little more about that story. But let us take these wonderful ladies. We're going to go first with Miss Yo-Yo Show. Let us find out how. And I want to get a little more personal in your life, because I would love to have had 4 wives. I would love that. Yes, I would love it, but unfortunately, I am afraid to get married for the first time. So, yes, I'm afraid of marriage. Yes, I am actually I am actually afraid of marriage. So you can tell me more about, how does it feel, to well. You know what? Just go ahead and talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I'm going to say this one thing because that is interesting that you would say that, and I never really thought about, how does it feel to have been married that many times. I can tell you that if I could do it over again, I probably would have just stayed with the first one because, you have to give and take with every marriage, and every marriage brings, every relationships. What if you just want to just be like technical. Every relationship brings its own problems and brings its own baggage and brings its own beauty and brings its own pain. So my thing was, growing up and seeing my parents who have been married for 50, 60 years be terribly always, they were not, okay, they did love each other. They still love each other, but they were not happy. So I kept getting divorced because I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to live like that. I'm not going to not be happy. So once you didn't hear my voice, it takes me a long time. I'm very long suffering. I'm not one of those people that fly off and just, I'm done with you. No, it takes a long time for me to get to that point. And so by that time, I just figured that it's done. But I did want to say this, that, having a mom that was a perfectionist and, you know, having people in my life that they would see you come up and want to have a crab in the bucket type of attitude towards you. I heard a lot of negative opinions about me, and for a while, the voices were real. But then I had to, seeing that I have social anxieties now because of it, I have to remember that the voices are not real. The voices are another person's voices. The voice that I hear from someone else is not the same voice that I hear from myself. So I condition myself to not listen to the other voices. Now, this is one thing I had to do in order to succumb from being a victim of narcissism, narcissist. The thing is, I let my mom go for one whole year. I fell to my knees in prayer. I couldn't do it anymore. Every time I would be happy, I'm just as happy as a lark. And I call my mom happy about something. Oh, mom, Mom, guess what happened to me? Somebody said I was this, that, and the other, and I helped them. And someone was saying so many nice things about me. And my mom would say something like this: that is so nice. I know you feel good about that. But when are you going to make sure that that living room and that dining room is clean to the point where when people come over, like when I came over the other day, I had to move some things just to sit down. It can't never be great. Could never be great with my mom. It was like she'd give me an accolade for maybe 5 seconds. I'm thinking, yes, my mom, she feels me. Yes. And then all of a sudden, she's got to put the dagger in the back. Now, what I would used to do, I would just spiral into a depression where I did not do anything other than for my kids. The only room in the house that was clean was my children's room. I looked a wreck. I would spiral into depression because of what other people say, especially my mom. I let her go for 1 year. I didn't talk to my mother for one whole year. And the only thing that hurt about that is not the fact that I didn't talk to my mom, but that meant that she didn't really see her grandkids. And that was not, but I needed to know what it felt like, not to feel bad every day because of what somebody says about, I just needed to know what that felt like. What is normal, what's the normal way that most people are living out here? I said, you know what? I'm going to let go of the negativity. I did the same thing to my son's father. My son had a disease called Wiskott-Aldrich syndrome, where he bled and he had an immune system and he eventually died. Me being in the hospital with him, this is my first ex-husband. So he would always make sure that when I was in the hospital with him, that was his time to do his digs. That was his time to really let me have it, whatever it was. So I'm in the hospital taking care of him. So he walks in, and that's when he's on the phone with other women, or he's got his kids in there, and he leaves with his kids in the room. His kids from another marriage. He comes in, leaves the kids in there with me. I mean, it's just a whole lot of things I've had to deal with. So I let him go for a whole year. I just wanted to know what it felt like. to not have to deal with that type of pain on a constant basis, deal with somebody that constantly badgers me. And just when I already had to deal with my son being sick and dying from the day of birth, and I have to deal with you. Then I had to deal with my cousin, someone that I love so much, and I thought she was. I would like not stab somebody for her, but she was like my right hand, and then come to find out she was not. So I'm not talking to her. I love her forever. I'm not one of those people like I'm mad at you, so I'm not talking to you. No, for the sanctity of my soul and my mind and of my life, I have to let you go because I cannot lay down in the bed and hug that bed anymore for anybody because they are so mean and say the nastiest things. I can't, I got to get up. I got to get up and wash up. I got to get up. I got to move because the negativity will consume me. And I learned that the only way I stopped letting negativity consume me is when I knew something was making me feel bad on a constant basis. Not every now and then, on just consistently. Every time I talked to my cousin, she would say something like, yeah, because when I told them that I was coming over your house, they was like, are you going over her house? Why would you go over there, girl? And I'd be like, lie as you tell, my cousin doing good. Now, I would always say, well, why would they feel like why would they have any negative thing to say about me? And she would do that and move on to the next conversation. And every time I'm at a family reunion, I'm feeling like no one likes me because she always say something. And then it just dawned on me. I'm like, oh, this girl don't want nobody. She don't want you to feel love. She wants to be the life of the party. She don't want you to feel welcome. So when I start talking to my other cousins about things, that's like, we don't have any problem with you. So sometimes you have to let people go, let the things that bother you, let it go. Because, I mean, you can try to like whip people into shape, but when a person shows you that true heart on a consistent basis, sometimes that's just the way they are. And you can keep on trying to go into that door if you want to, but that door is just going to keep slamming you in the face every time. And you're like, okay, I'm going to just tell them, don't say this to me because this makes me feel bad. Oh, okay, sweetheart, I won't say it to you because it makes me. Then 2 weeks will go past and then boom, they say the stupid stuff again. And you're back to spiraling into a deep depression. So I learned to let people go. That's all I have to say about it.
That was brilliant, and actually I support that sentiment. I must say I support that sentiment. If something is not working out for you, if something rips you apart, if something is pushing you down in the ground, let it go. I don't see why you should hang on to something or someone that is pulling you down under the ground. You're already down and it is trying to get you under the. Come on now, get rid of that thing. Exactly. I just don't. I I can't. So I agree with you. And I am convinced. And as a matter of fact, this was actually my fear of getting married because I was always saying, if I ever get married and it is not working, I'm not staying. I'm moving the hell on. So before I have to be changing my wives, I'd rather stay unmarried, and change girlfriends. That is sounding a little bit sad, but all right, you know what? Let's hear what you have to say because I don't want to sink myself a little bit deeper, and then SF Rose might pack my suitcase tonight and send me somewhere else. So let me just move on to Tiffany. Tiffany, what says now? What do you have to say about the whole topic and constructive and destructive criticism? How did you take it? How did your world cope with this behavior?
Yeah, so Auntie Yo-Yo and I, we have similar stories. For me, it wasn't just my weight. So I am twice divorced as well. Um, in the first marriage, that person just was, he just cheated on me. It just was what it was. But in the second marriage, it was even more toxic than that. So I found myself never being good enough. So I come from a very small family. It's just my mom, my dad, my brother, and myself. And then when I got married, I married into a very big family. I was so excited because now I'm getting sisters and I'm getting more brothers, and I just was like, "Oh, this is the world." Until I realized with more people in your family comes more opinions about you. And Tiffany, you should change this, or Tiffany, you should do this, or you shouldn't say that. And it was always I wasn't good enough. So a lot of times I had to hear, Tiffany, you need to go study the word more and ask God to change you. And I mean, I was asking God, change my husband, change my husband. And I then began changing myself. I then began taking a good look in the mirror, and I began changing who I was and how I perceived myself, because why would I allow myself to go through so much misery just so that I wouldn't be twice divorced? And there are people out there that look at, a single mom. I would be afraid to go to the grocery store with my 11-month-old daughter and no ring on my finger, because I didn't want it to be perceived that I had a child out of wedlock. Um, just because I grew up in a Christian home. My dad's a pastor. I grew up in a Christian home. And I was concerned about the opinions of me for a long time. Now, having lived life, I've been divorced for 3 years. um, I don't care, because the only opinion that matters is the opinion of God, at least to me. I don't care if people don't like me. I like to be liked, but if I'm not, it's okay, because they crucified Jesus. So it's like, well, come on, if he can be crucified and he didn't do anything wrong, then what makes me so special? So I just kind of take it like that. It is annoying when people talk about you and you feel like you're not good enough. And when I gained all that weight, yeah, I was told, you eat everything in sight, by my daughter's dad. And I was like, well, you're the one buying everything in sight for me to eat it. But weight comes and weight goes, and when you put your mind to it, you can lose the weight. And I did that, and like SF Rose was saying, I'm still the same person, big or small, same person. But yeah, I learned to not care about people's opinions of me, because you're darned if you do and you're darned if you don't. Oh, speaking of a cousin, so there was this one cousin that I had, and TR, I sent you an IG about it, and you responded. You actually came on live one time on your other channel and said that there were cousins that mistreated you. And that hit home for me, because I had just experienced the death of my grandmother, and I was helping to plan her funeral. And one of my oldest cousins, who I looked up to for years and years, and we would call each other twin, and I just thought she loved me, because I certainly love her. Um, I later learned during planning my grandmother's funeral that she hated me, and that she hated my dad. And all these years, I would hang around her, and I thought she loved me. And I remember having a dream, and I felt like God gave me that dream. It was a warning. She was actually attacking me, but like as if she was an animal, like a lion or something, attacking me. And I was like, what's up with this? This was years ago. And years later, when I was planning for my grandmother's funeral, she attacked me so terribly, in a group chat with the rest of the cousins, to where we just dismantled the group chat and stopped chatting on there. But yeah, that was hurtful. But you know what, guys? Family, you'd be surprised. Sometimes family will hate you more than um, a stranger. But you have to keep going, because life goes on. So that's it. I figure if you're not paying my bills, I don't care what you think about me.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your input. It is valued by me, of course, and I want to say that I really thank you. All right, so just so everybody know where we are going and where we stand, it is now 16 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock right here in New Jersey. We're going to be on here until about 10 o'clock tonight. I mean, 11 o'clock tonight, so we have just about another 34 34 minutes to go. If there's any question from anybody, or if there's anybody who wants to say something that you've not heard here tonight, you want to add something to what was said, it is okay to let me know. I can either provide you a phone number so you can call in. If you want to jump on panel, we can take one more person, just one. I can only take one more. Well, I just want to take one more person. I don't want 10 or 12 people on here, and I don't want to let these two beautiful women go. I feel so nice to be on here with them, so I just want to add another person up here with a different opinion. What have your struggles been? What were your persecution? What were the bad things that people said about you that made you cry? What were the things that they say to belittle you? What did they say to make you feel like you were in third grade? A favorite term from SF Rose. What did they say to make you feel undesirable, to make you feel like you're not qualified to be even the average human being? They make you feel less than in every words that come from their mouth. Now, as I said before, we have to learn to decipher what is a constructive criticism as opposed to what is a destructive criticism, because the constructive one can be taken and it can be applied to your life to make you a better person or to make your situation a better one, as opposed to somebody can say something destructive and nothing about it is going to add value to your life. Nothing about it will make you better by any means. Those are the one that you disregard. Those are the one that you try to eliminate from your system. Those are the one that you take a purge. For those who don't know that you can actually purge not just your system physically in terms of what you have digested in your stomach, but you can also purge your mental system. You can purge your spiritual system. You can clean yourself and, renew your heart, renew your mind. There are ways to go about it. And Chanel was raised in a Christian home like myself. I'm not sure. Well, most of us were raised in Christian homes. Our parents were Christians. We know about going to church, singing in the choir, the whole 9 yards. And so we know what it is to be raised in a church. And the thing that hurt most in the past is when you have certain expectations of Christians, because you're thinking, when you're raised in a Christian home, you're thinking that Christians are perfect. Christians don't do wrongs, they don't sin, or if they sin, they make amendments immediately. So when someone in the church ridicule you, say things about you, you're like, what? I can't believe that Sister Brown said that about me. I can't believe that the pastor's wife said that about me. I can't believe that she said that about me. Really? What kind of God is she serving? Well, I just want you to know that it doesn't matter what position the person holds in the church. In fact, at one point, the most abuse that I got was from church. But then I can't say that the most abusive people come from church, because I spent all my days in church. So that means I knew nothing about the outside world. So that means anybody that was going to do something to me had to be someone from church. Anybody that was going to hurt me had to be someone from church, because church people is all I know. So there was one point in my life when I was saying, church people are the most evilest people that I've come across in my life. But I didn't know better, because that's the only people that I know. But then I transferred my energy and my appearance to the outside world when I left my parents' home. And then I started saying something else that I changed eventually. I thought that, all the artists that I've worked with, I said they were all the same thing. They use us as musicians to get where they want to go, and then they behave like we didn't contribute anything to their life. We colored their life. We produced their music. We arrange their music, and then we go on stage with them, and we make their music beautiful, make them sound good, make them look good. And then at the end of the day, they treat us like, okay, he's just Mr. Thomas' son, or he's just Mr. Brown's son, or he's whatever. They treat you like nothing. And at one point I thought every artist was the same, because my experience moving from artist to artist to artist to artist, they all operate the same. I'm like, no, I used to call them names. I used to say, all you guys are just, and I used to use all kind of names to describe them. But then I realized that I was now an adult. I was now a professional, and I started meeting with professional people such as pastors and politicians. And then I realized that I was faced with a lot of things from pastors as well. There was a pastor who told me that I couldn't have a relationship with one of the church sister because we are on the choir. And then I was broken up with the sister. Like, he broke us apart, so we weren't together. And guess what? She went and moved in with another brother. So we were broken up because I guess I was the bad person here trying to mess up the church sister. But then the church sister moved in to live with another brother. I'm like, hold on. So you stopped me from talking to the sister because you think it was wrong, and she moved in and was living with a man, which was my friend, as a matter of fact. So I was faced with a lot of things from pastors, from politicians, from teachers. I've traveled the whole, I could almost say that I've traveled the globe. I've gone to so many countries. I've dealt with black people, white people, old, young, girls, boys. I've come across all type of people. And, my experience built me to who I am right now. Sometimes a lot of people will listen to me speak and they say, how did he know that? How can this guy speak like this? What school did he go to? What college? What university? It's my experience with people, with traveling the world and experiencing different culture, how people operate. And then I come to the knowledge that, at the end of the day, a person is going to be who they are regardless of their titles. You could be a pastor, but your personality was a pedophilia. You're going to be a pedophilia. You're going to still be a child molester, even if you're a pastor. If you were a policeman and you were a thief, being a policeman is just the title and the training that is applied to you. So you could either become a more professional thief, a professional serial killer who knows how to protect your dang... excuse me, I was about to say something. But your job or personality does not change who you are as a person. Your personality is just adding or enhancing who you have already been. So if you were a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, and you were something else as a person before you became that, that's what you're going to be. So what you're going to do is clothe yourself with the whatever. So if you were a whatever you were, you're just going to clothe yourself, and you're the same person below there, and this is before you, so it becomes a facade. You show this to the world. This is who I am. I am thus said the Lord. Believe in me, because I am here to save the world. And then when you turn to your room, you're molesting the church sisters. You are doing this and you're doing that. All of these things. And so I learned that your titles is not going to change who you are. And, sometimes some people act differently for the better when they become, this or that, a principal, a vice principal, the president. And some people were surprised at Trump being the president and talking about, I grabbed her by the front. Now that he's talking about who he is. That's what he is. That's who he is. And that's why when he became a president, he could still say, I grabbed her by the front. He didn't care, because that's his personality at the end of the day. It was okay to him to grab her by the front. So, so he is president with all that behavior, It doesn't change who he is. And so when you are a king or a queen of the palace, but you were something else before you were the king or the queen, it's not going to change exactly who you are. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. It's not the end of the stream. We're going to take some questions from you in the chat. If you want to ask Miss Yo-Yo any personal questions about, if she's not married now. She's married 4 times, and she's about the 5th time.
No, she's married. She's married. She's in her 4th marriage. She's married.
Oh,
I'm not married. She's married.
My God.
She still believes
told me
in
that
love.
She was married again for the 4th time, and the marriage is actually current. I was trying to move in, and you just burst my bubbles right now.
You see this fist,
Oh,
SF? Go get him.
okay, all right. All right, somebody said she was married. SF Rose is making sure she make that known. She was married, so take your eyes off of her. Okay, all right, eyes off. Okay, we're gonna take questions from you all. Hold on, let me see this one. If I say you are beautiful and wise, soak it up. You deserve it. Are you talking about Miss Yo-Yo show, or was that meant for Tiffany? Okay, whichever one of them, it goes for both of them.
Both of
So
us. I was watching the comments. They were talking to both of us.
okay, so both of you, I agree. I agree. These are two beautiful ladies. They are awesome, and so we are going to take questions from you. What would you like? Oh my gosh, I keep freezing up. I'm frozen again.
Can I just add something?
Sure, please go right ahead.
That's why the Bible says the fruit of the Spirit is more important than the gifts. So it's a lot of people walking in their gifts or their talents, but what's inside is what's more important. If you have love, joy, peace, long suffering, all those things that exist on the inside, that's more important than the things that exist on the outside. That's why you hear people say all the time, you know, a pig waddles around in the slop. You can put a robe on them and a crown and they're a king, but they're still a pig, right?
I have something to say to SF Rose and to TR. TR, you've been with SF Rose for a little while now, and what happens when you're not married? Because I have been married, like I said, 4 times. I'm on my fourth husband. I'm not going anywhere from this when there's no need to, because I'm just going to trade one piece of whatever to another situation. So, with that being said, um, the next woman will have tall shoes to fill, because everything she does is not going to be what SF Rose does. So at this point, after you've been together for so long, there's going to be another level of standard that you're going to have for that next woman if you don't stay with this one. And she's not going to be able to fulfill that particular need. You know, when you've been with someone as long as you've been with her. Now, if you guys are just like, this is your second year, then yeah, maybe you go to another woman. But at this point, no one's going to be able, you're going to realize if you get with another one at this time, you're going to realize that that person is not going to cut the crust off your bread. SF Rose know exactly what you like and how you like it. When to say something, when to be quiet, when to put your shoes on, when to take your shoes off, when to come in, when to come out.
Oh, hold
This
on, hold on,
new
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on.
She knows how to keep
Did you
people
actually
in the
say
chat
SF
because
Rose
I
knows how
only
to
would,
be quiet?
yeah, because I would only come into the chat because I knew she was going to speak to me.
That's a whole nother situation. That's a whole nother subject for another day. But what I'm saying is, I bet you that new woman, you will have to, you'll be doing like this every time you have a meeting, because you're a businessman. And there's certain things that you need, and there's certain, and this is your business, and you probably have other businesses. This other woman will come in, and you'll be like, "Can you just please be quiet?" But see, when you're with somebody, as long as you've been with who you're with now, it's like you're just setting that next woman up to fail, getting with
And I
another.
won't come back to the chat.
And you know that'd be a terrible day if Tiffany don't come back to the chat. I
Oh
rest my.
my, oh my lord, oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. I must say I remember the days when when my chat was a flying saucer, which is what I used to call it. I said my chat is a flying saucer. And where's the link? Okay, Aisha wants to jump on up. All right, let me just drop the link quickly so you can jump on up here. Come on, Aisha, don't you come mess up my chat right now, okay? All right, because I know how you speak already. Don't you be coming on up here and say things that is going to. You set yourself up for this. You're right. You're right. I think I set myself up for this. But what I want to say, yes, I do remember when my stream I used to call, well, my chat I used to call it a flying saucer because the moment you type in this chat, you don't see it. It flies all the way to the top. And so a lot of people used to come to my stream and say, "Hi TR, how are you?" And I'm like, "Oh yes, guys. So we want to say welcome to and I'm talking, and somebody say, "Hey TR, hello again for the second time." And I'm like, "Yes, I want to say, tear me down, don't tear me down." And I'm like, the chat is going on and on and on and on and and people are talking. And then there was SF Rose who is like, and she was like, "Hey Tiffany, don't worry. You're gonna be okay. He's just like caught up in his world right now. Just hang on, and you're gonna be okay. Eventually, he might see you." And she would tell you sometimes, tag him, he will see you. Tag him, and he will see you. Such and such and. So yes, I understand, and I must say at this moment, I give thanks for SF Rose who been on the lookout, on the alert, so I can have people like.
That's our girl. Come on.
If it wasn't for her, I would have lost more people than I've lost. So I must say, thanks to SF Rose. She chased a few away, I must say. She chased maybe 5 people away. And but maybe that was for my own good. I don't know. Maybe it was for my own good. I think these ladies might say the same thing. So let us welcome Aisha. Now, Aisha is somebody who I am going to criticize her right now. Because since we're on the topic of criticizing, and she's the type of girl who just jump on with her hair all looking like doll.
What you get, babe?
Natural beauty. I'm a natural girl. I just have it twisted with my girl on top. But I'm natural.
What you get?
No, she's such a beautiful girl. Aisha is such a beautiful girl. I just imagine what would have happened if she just, put her hair back or she do something. I'm just kidding. We're on the topic of criticism, constructive and destructive. So
that was destructive what you just said, but I didn't even come to talk to you. Hey, CR, thanks for inviting me. Miss Yo, mother, you have spoken today. You have spoken today. If you could have heard how loud I was clapping in my house when you talked to Chanel, your both of your testimonies were amazing. But Miss Yo, you dropped a word, baby. You missed it. She done spoken to TR's life. What you gonna do, TR? What you gonna do? Because it ain't nothing else out there.
What she said was perfect. I can't even add or take anything from it. I just had to leave it as is because she dropped some pearls, diamonds. She dropped some nuggets of all sorts. I can't say anything about it.
Hold on, Dre. You already did say that I come on the TV with my head looking out any type of way. Any type of way. He said I don't push my hair back or nothing. I don't push this back. It's okay, Tia. Dre, I'll get you later.
Now, we're on the topic of constructive and destructive criticism. Now, what we're trying to do is to decipher when someone has a constructive criticism as opposed to when they have a destructive criticism that will tear you apart, sink you below the ground. How do you apply certain criticism to your life? I remember sometimes you used to say, come and talk to me about this because I like how you're straightforward. You say it as it is. So I'm going to tell you, if you're not right, I'm going to tell you that you're not right. But sometimes we have to be careful how we apply the words to somebody's life. It can destroy them sometimes. So we have to take some time and think about what we're saying to people and how we're saying it to them so we don't destroy them in the event of trying to, help them. So, what are you trying to say here tonight, Aisha? I know you might have something from your personal beliefs or your personal life. All right, hold on. Let me rephrase my question. You have been through, it doesn't matter how wonderful you are, somebody's going to have something nasty to say about you. And sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes the words that are coming from even the people in your home, like for instance, Dre, may have said something to you at one point that you have to say, hey, don't you say that to me. I'm your wife, for Christ's sake. How do you deal with these kind of situation? What do you do to calm yourself down? Do you drink a bottle of water? Do you go read the Bible? Do you grab a book? Do you go watch the TV? Do you listen to music? What do you do? How do you take the courage to respond? How do you respond? How do you do these things?
I can tell you about 2 times. It's funny that you mentioned my hair, but the very first time that I not cut it, but cut it very low. And you were talking about church, so I'll add this. It was the pastor's wife that told me I did not consult God about cutting my hair. And my hair was down my back. And she was like, there's no way you consulted God. And I was like, what? She was like, because your hair is your glory. And I'm like, I'm not my hair. And at the time, I knew that I was going to cut it. Like, it wasn't a rash decision. I took about 90 days before I cut it. But I just said with a smile, I'm not my hair. And that was for me, it was a struggle because I knew I heard God and I knew I could talk to God and I had a relationship with God. And it was like, I know God is not concerned about my head to this degree. And then one of the mothers in the church came and apologized to me about 3 weeks later. And she said, baby, I was mad at you, but I just don't have a right to be mad at you. I was like, you was mad at me. What did I do? She said, you cut all that pretty hair off your head. And I was just like, why would she go and do that? What is she going through? And I'm like, I'm not going through anything. I just wanted to cut my hair. But it was something that I think I not put in the chat. The reason why it probably hurt the most is because my dad, when I was young, I'll never forget, he said, a man doesn't want a bald-headed woman. I'll never forget that. And so I wouldn't cut my hair because I remember when I was younger, my dad said, a man doesn't want a bald-headed woman. So I kind of got past it with a smile. I didn't say anything disrespectful. I don't have it in me to be disrespectful to an elder, but it did sting a little bit, just a tad. And then the other one was because of some of the things that I have endured, and people know the thing. Like, I don't go around with a sign saying the things that I've gone through or that I'm going through, and I often get told that my smile is fake, that I'm not sharing. Like, you're not experiencing joy like that. You're just not facing what's going on, and that irritates me more than anything, because it's like, so you want me to be down? You want me to be depressed? You want me to look sad? Like, it's things in life that I can't change. It's life. And so if I say that I trust God, I have to go through it and trust that God is going to get me through it. So why do I have to not smile? Why do I have to cry? Why do I have to be upset? And so that will be the other thing.
You sound very emotional when you touch on certain topics. It seemed as though you might have been hurt in this department before. You may have cried yourself to sleep some nights. You may have, I don't know what your situation is. I don't know how you go through your situations, but I know when you have a cut or a sore or a something that somebody keeps chopping you in the same spot all the time. They land the chop or whatever. They attack you in the same area at all times, and so you develop the nerve that even if you hear a word from the same sentence, just one word from that sentence, it triggers your nerves. You're like, oh, here we go again. Just leave me alone. Words become a seed. That's what I call words. Words is a seed, and when you put them in somebody's life, you're planting a seed into someone's life that will grow. And what I usually say is that when you use the words over and over again, is that you've been watering that word. So when you say to someone, you know, you're you're just I want to find a word to use, but anything that someone says to you negatively, whether they were describing, let me just use ears, since none of you have a big ears. If you had a big pair of ears and somebody say your ears is big and look like two banana leaves, or look like an elephant, and somebody keeps saying that to you, you're either going to get used to it. So when somebody say it, you say, "Oh, thank you. I know
Mhm.
that they are mine actually. I own
Mhm.
them." You these are some ways that you can talk about your own self. To get rid of somebody that is trying to mock you or jeer you. Your ears is as big as an elephant, as a banana leaf. Oh, thank you. I actually own them. I have copyright to them, so don't even try use them. They're all
Mhm.
mine. But then, if you allow them to attack you with them and allow them to attack your life, every time you hear your, they don't even reach to ears yet, you feel affected. You're, okay, I know my ears is big. Oh, I didn't say that. I just said your. But every word from the sentence sometimes become that thing that triggers your nerve. So a word is a seed that someone can plant in your life, and it can become a massive tree that is hard to be broken down. When you've heard the same sets of words from you were a child until you are now an adult, it's hard to get it out of your system. So as somebody says something, you'll be like, oh, there we go again. My grandmother was like, she was so dark. When I say dark, I am nothing close to her. She's black as black as black as black as black can be. My father also is black as black as black. Now, my grandmother used to say, every time she gets into a conversation or a battle with somebody, the first thing that she would say, I know that I am black. I know that I am dark. I know that I am a this and that. And she used to curse herself first because she was so used to the words that people would say about her. Anytime she gets into a battle, she curses herself first. And so by the time she finishes with herself, you have nothing else to say about her because she's said all of that before. And so then she takes you on and she would slaughter you, and you have nothing to say because she's already said it. So that's what I'm saying. Words are seeds, and when you plant them into somebody's life, they become a massive tree that is hard to cut down. So we have to be careful how we speak to our friends, our foes, our families, the people who care about us. We have to be careful. So if I was going to attack your hair one day, I would certainly not say I would certainly not just attack your hair like that. I would find a
Please.
nice way to say, "Oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. I just love when your hair is like, actually, your hair is my favorite part on your body." And I'm just wondering what it would look like if you put it to the side. I wonder what it would look like if you actually pull a comb through it. I'm just curious to
What
see.
pulling the comb
Uh,
through?
you know,
No, go ahead.
Okay, Aisha, the floor is yours. What do you have to say? Do you have anything else that you want to get across on here before we take somebody else's comment or statement or question?
No, I will say this, Miss Yo-Yo's story really resonated with me because my mother, though she's not living anymore, the voice, even though it's an outside voice, there's a saying that says, "Be careful how you talk to your children because your voice will be the voice that they hear um, when they're older." And so for me, I had to learn how to tell the difference between my mom's voice and actually God's voice, because my mother's voice was real condemning, real um, negative, but that was her way of toughening me up. That was her way of preparing me for the world. That was her way of letting me know that the world, wasn't easy. Things weren't light, but it still hurt. But then as I got older, it didn't hurt anymore. And I will say that um, there are times that, like, kind of like you said, like an old wound, that a word will be said and a feeling will come back up with it. but I've learned to address the feeling and not, even if I lose it, because there has been a time just recently where I've lost it, and then I had to think about it, like, why did I get so upset about that? And then when I remembered the place that it took me to, I had to say, well, this is where it took me to. I guess I need to deal with that. But it takes a lot to hide that stuff and to put it up. And once it's put up, you really don't want to bring it out anymore.
I just wanted to say this one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to teach people how to treat you. My mother is still alive, and she is nowhere near the way she used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But she was that way because I allowed her to be that way.
Yeah.
And to this day, she treats me with respect and kindness and love, because she knows there's certain things she better not say, because at this point I'm coming out, and I'm going to come out with a vengeance, because I refuse to feel bad again. I am older now. I don't want to go back into that, resort back into that young child that used to, have to be quiet and, remind me of The Devil Wears Prada, that movie where everybody starts moving once she comes into the room. Everybody's like scuffling around because she just wanted everybody to, the lady, she wanted everybody to just always be in a state of turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty much, what I lived. But I'm telling you, this is the thing. And it's hard because you're a nice person. And in your heart, you just want to be loving and you want people to love you back. But they're not going to love you back. I don't care if they're 17 to 77. You got to teach people how to treat you. And once the wrong thing comes out their mouth, you cannot let it slide. Now, a lot of times I let stuff go over my head because I'm not expecting negative to come out of a person when I have not been negative to you. So I'm learning, I'm still learning that at this age. I'm still learning to like catch it when it gets out there. But sometimes I get home and like, wait a minute, did she just say?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Wait. Did she just call me a hot mess? What? Okay, so these are the things that you have to learn as time. And back in the day, I didn't have YouTube. Back in the day, I didn't have motivational videos.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, we didn't have the internet. So you guys got so many tools that you can use. Go watch some of these videos. I didn't even know what a narcissist was until last year. And I grew up with one. So I don't even.
Yeah. So
Just
for
remember.
me, my mom's gone. She's gone on to glory. She didn't change. The last year of her life was probably her worst year, and mine too. You would think that I was her caregiver, so you would think that I would be the one that she treated nicely. But it got a lot worse before she left here. I will say, on the day that she passed away, she let me know that she was proud of me, that she loved me, that she knew that God was with me and that God covered me, that she saw God standing behind me. And so all of that was great to hear. It's just I heard it on the day she left.
But she would have said it much earlier if you had just told her, well, I'm going to just let these nurses be your daughter, until you go to glory.
It was
She would have
hard.
called you and be like, I'm sorry. Look.
Because my thing was, I didn't know why she acted the way she did. I felt like there had to be something missing for her to be able to be that type of person, if that makes sense. And so I didn't want, it was like, no matter how hard it got, I didn't want her to leave here and not feel loved. And so there are days my husband left. He's like, I can't take it. He was like, you're here with her all day and she treats you like trash. But I didn't want her to leave here not knowing that she was loved. In spite of.
But
did she have dementia?
No, my mom passed.
Okay, I was gonna say, because my mom's mom has dementia, and she says mean things to my mother. My mother cares for her, and the next moment, not day, moment, she forgets what she said. So sometimes, it's their minds just aren't where they should be.
Yeah, she was the same
But
person.
when I tell y'all, I don't care that you on your deathbed. I'm serious. I'm
Yeah,
trust me when
Auntie
I tell
Yo-Yo
you
will
I'm one of
slap
the
you into glory.
no, seriously. No, seriously, y'all, I'm not playing. And
Hmm.
it's taken me a long time to get to this point in my life to respect myself. I have a video called "Am I Lacking? Do I have self self respect syndrome? A lack of self respect syndrome? Because I run up, I used to run up behind people that is not trying to, in any kind of way, run up behind me. I had to
Right.
like talk to myself and talk to God. I had to get on my knees and talk to God. Now I'm at a point where if you're not treating me correctly, your days are numbered. Because what you're doing is you're going to make it hard for me to care for the people that truly love me. You're going to make me have an aneurysm and a heart attack and all these other things, anxiety pills and Valiums and all that I got to take dealing with you when I got these vast people, all these people over here
Mhm.
that love me. And I'm dealing with you,
Mhm.
making me not be able to get up out my bed and deal with them. And they're like, they need me. Their little eyes is looking up at me like, please help me, help me. But I can't help them because I'm helping you. And you're just taking me to the depths of Hades. So I've learned to like cut you off. I don't care if you're in your deathbed. I'm going to cut you off until you learn how to respect me. And I'm going to be okay with that because I know I have to take care of my daughter. I have to take care of my husband. I have to take care of the people that love me. And you're going to make me lose my life because I'm going to have an aneurysm dealing with
I've learned the gift of goodbye. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. The gift of goodbye. I never understood the gift of goodbye because I was always too busy trying to hold on to something. But I learned later on in life, if you don't have the gift of goodbye, somebody might give you a heart attack or a stroke by how they treat you, the things that they say to you. And you have to love yourself more. And it's okay to love yourself. You're not being selfish. And even if you are being selfish, do it. You have to love yourself more where you don't accept negativity in your life. Toxicity or whatever that word is not allowed. And I'm quick
you.
to
I mean,
say goodbye.
even God said goodbye to the Israelites a few times. People always like, but God,
Yep.
He forgives. And God, God has turned His back on a few people after you done smacked Him so many times. You don't have to smack Him all the time. You'd be like, all right, then I'll see y'all. When you come back, I'll be here for you. But until then,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go on to suffer. So they suffered the hands of the Ammonites. They suffered. They suffered. They suffered. They suffered poorly by the time they went back to God. They were just done. They were
Yeah.
slaves and all kind of stuff by the time they really realized that they needed him again. And I tell people that story all the time. I'm like, if God turned his back on the ones that he called his chosen people, then what are you doing to yourself? I mean, it's only so many times that he's going to say, don't put these gods in front of me. And you keep putting them in front of him. And he just going to be like, okay, I forgive you. Oh, okay, I forgive you. They pray, please forgive me. Okay, I forgive you. And then they keep making these gods, these wooden things. And God said, okay, I tell you what, bye. I tell y'all what. I tell you what, I'm out. But if you call on me with a sincere heart of repentance, I'll come back. And that's how they had to get him back. They had to get rid of all of the things that he didn't like. When I tell you, you have to teach people how to treat you, you
I think
have to.
I struggle with
And you
the
can
whole
forgive as you walk
70
away.
times 7 as well as grace. Like, I know I mess up daily. So I know God is giving me grace and mercy daily. How dare I not give someone grace? How dare I not give someone mercy when I'm asking for it daily? Now, I do protect my energy as far as like negativity and not allowing negative people to be around me or negative words to influence me. But I always go into a situation trying to be the light, and that whole light, covers darkness. They can't stay in the same place. The whole you overcome evil with good. Earth Talk 77 says, "What do I think about myself now?" Um, and I'm assuming he was asking me. I don't know, but going through what I went through with my mom made me able to. I can go through anything. There's not a person in this world that can bring me down. There's not a person in this world that can tear me down. There's not a person in this world that can truly make me act out of character, um, because I never disrespected her. And she disrespected me many times, but I never disrespected her because I wanted to honor God. And I love me. I'm okay with me. Maybe that's why I can get on and I'm not combing my hair, and I'm okay with not combing my hair. Um, I love me. And I am who I am. Like, it's either you take it or leave it, but I'm not gonna change it. I'm not gonna turn my smile into a frown because that makes you happy. It gives me joy. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm okay with me.
I want to say quickly that I am not the type of person who cries easily. But for some reason, tears came to my eyes listening to you, Aisha. The passion in you, the your soul, your your expression, your whole entire being tells a story that you have been through a lot. I want to say greetings to Peaceful Sister, and thank you so much for coming. Miss Yo-Yo, you made me laugh. You know, when you said, even on their dying bed, if you have to cut them off, you're going to cut them off on their bed dying, regardless. That made me laugh a little bit because I know someone needed to hear that. But in the same breath, I want to say, I think I'm going to do a show with you, Aisha. I'm going to arrange it properly because there is something about you. From the very first day I saw you there has been something about you, and I noticed a lot of things. And I want to talk to you more in depth about a few things because I know your story can possibly help somebody else that is going through a similar situation or have been through that situation but need to hear a word, or for somebody in the future that might start going through this. How do you deal with it? Because when the Bible tells you to honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long upon the land, but then your mother and your father are abusing the hell out of you. They just say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do, and they don't give a crap. And even when you say, Mom, I don't like it, I don't like when you say that, they do it nevertheless because I'm your mother. I brought you into the world. And so it's my choice if I take you out or leave you. Some moms tell their children that, hey, I brought you in the world and I will take you out. People tell their children all kinds of things. And some parents really don't care. And, some will say, all right, this is the last time. I'm not going to do it again. And then they do it again tomorrow. And they do it again the following day. And you're like, Mom, really? And you have to tell your mom or your dad the same thing over and over and over again. And like, they don't really care. And it's hard to live with your parents doing certain things to you over and over and over again. They don't care. And when they're dying, that's when it becomes hard because they've sowed all these kind of negative seeds in your life, and
Hmm.
now they're dying, and you want to just say, you know what, bye. Like Yo-Yo said, you just want to say, okay, it was good having you here, or well, maybe not good, but you've spent your days on earth, and it is sad that you're leaving the earth, and this was the situation between us. But it is hard when your mom is dying on her bed, and you know that this is the last time you're going to ever hear from her. This is the last thing that she's going to ever hear from you. And you really is still upset, and you want to say, die. But then it's your mother, and you want to say, I know we didn't have a good relationship, but
Hmm.
I hope you rest in paradise. I hope, Mom, I just want to tell you that I love you. You didn't treat me so well. In fact, you treat me like the worst that you've ever seen. But I hope that your soul finds rest in a place in the arms of God. because, just because. So I understand your passion and your pain. I've seen it clearly that you've been through a lot, Aisha, and it's only the mercy of God that has kept you to be here with a smile on your face regardless. I can see the tears behind your smile many times, and I'm like, oh my God, this girl though, this girl. And so I am thankful that we've met, and I know your story is a very long one. I know you can chop your story in 100 pieces, and there is still 101st episode, and second, third, fourth, and so on and so on. We have arrived at basically the end of the live stream. I started late, so I'm gonna continue for another. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see quickly. Oh my God! Here it is. Here it comes. I think. Okay. I hope it doesn't freeze. So we have another 7 minutes. So what we're going to do in the remaining 7 minutes, I want to say thank you, Peaceful Sister, for coming through,
I'm gonna get
and
off.
then I want to quickly say I'm going to allow each of you. We have 7 minutes to go. I'm going to allow each of you 2 minutes to say the last thing that you want to say before we go tonight. You can give a shout out to whomever you want in the chat. You can just say whatever, a closing remark it is called. Make your closing remark, and then after that, after all of you, I might not be saying much. So after all of you, I will just be saying thank you all for coming, and have a great night. So we're gonna take Aisha first, not Aisha, sorry. We're gonna take Tiffany first since she came on here first. You can tell the people what you want to say, and can we have a mod to drop these people link in the stream while they are here? I would like to believe that everybody in this building is connected to each other, but we want to drop these three links in the chat nevertheless. So if you don't know them, you can all get to know these wonderful ladies. They are so awesome. They are not my wives. They are friends of mine on YouTube, and so check them out. They're awesome people. So we're gonna start with Tiffany. What do you have to say, Tiffany, in closing?
Okay, in closing, first of all, thanks TR and SF Rose for allowing me to come on the panel tonight. And thank you everyone on the panel and everyone that's in the chat listening. I just say in closing to stay encouraged. There's always going to be something negative said in your life. And you have to learn, like one lady used to tell me, to eat the wheat and leave the hay. And take the constructive part and make yourself better, and then whatever is just not constructive and it's just rude, just let it roll off your back. Know that if you are living your life to please God, there's always going to be a naysayer, and just don't stress over what they're saying, because at the end of the day, these people do not make or break us. Anyway, I'm gonna hop off because my daughter has taken the shampoo and rubbed it on her face. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for coming, Tiffany Channel, and I look forward to seeing you again. Peace be to you all there. And then we're gonna take the Miss Yo-Yo show. We are so happy to have her out the bushes tonight, looking all beautiful and wonderful. Thank you so much for joining the show tonight, Miss Yo-Yo show. And what do you have to say in closing to these wonderful people?
She's muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm glad you told me, girl, because I said some things that didn't nobody need to hear clearly. So I would like to thank everybody for thank you, TR, for having me on the panel. Thank you, SF Rose, for always being so hospitable. And thank you so much, everybody, for, just listening. And, this is a topic that is very dear to my heart because I've had to live it for so long. And it's like, please, whatever you do, especially my younger ones down there, please take notes of an older person and don't wait so long to figure it out. Don't be 40 and 50 and 60 and 70 to finally figure it out. It's almost over with for you. You you want to figure it out now in your 20s and 30s because you have people that is telling you exactly. I didn't have people talk to me like this, and I would have probably had more self-respect and a lot of things if I had people to talk to me and motivate me and say, oh, no, you're not going over there with her. She told you that you were nothing but a high yellow, blah, 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 and you want to go over there and be her friend. No, you're not going over there. Let me tell you why you're not. Because I didn't have anybody to do that. So I had to figure it all out on my own. And unfortunately, I was well in my 40s when I finally figured it out. So listen and learn from the mistakes. And when I tell you, even with my employees, when I first started as a director, I was so nice, thinking that you would get the respect because of your niceness. Everybody's getting a raise. Everybody can go home early. Everybody, oh, she's so nice. No respect. Still no respect. People will respect you when you respect yourself. And you can't respect yourself when you're allowing people to make you feel bad all the time. What kind of life can you live as being happy, a happy person, when you wake up, you're happy? Nothing's happened. You're drinking your coffee, you're watching everything, you're getting up and you're happy as a lark. And then as soon as everybody start coming around you, somebody's saying the wrong thing, somebody doing the wrong thing. So by 3 o'clock, you're like this. I don't care what's happening in my life. So it's like, I learned that I told myself by 3 o'clock, I'm still going to be happy. So that means what? Once someone comes in my face talking crazy, I got to go, wait a minute. You were late today. Why were you late? Oh, well, we had to take the kids. We had to go get some gas first. And that was my problem. Oh, it's so interesting that when you want to show people, you want them to be responsible for their actions. It's funny how people get mad at you for making them responsible for their actions.
Yeah.
They're upset now. My employees, my friends, so-called, upset now because now I am calling you out of your behavior. You mad with me. Oh, I done learned how to be a hermit. I'm good. I just listen to SFROs and TR, and I just be on YouTube. Thank goodness for YouTube. I don't have to be anybody's friend too much. It's like, if you're not going to be responsible for your actions, I'm good now. It used to be a time like, I need somebody to be around. I need somebody to go in there with me. I need somebody. I don't need it no more, because you make me feel bad all the time. I'd rather be alone feeling good than be with you feeling bad.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
It was nice meeting you.
All right. Before you go, even though I said 2 minutes and I said that was the way I want you to go out, I want you to do one last thing before you go out. I want you to sing for Aisha one verse or the chorus of God Made You Special. That song, whatever that song is. God made you special. That song. You know that song?
I don't know that song, but I'll tell you this one.
All right.
This is the song I lived. The sun will come out
Yeah.
tomorrow. That's your bottom dollar. That tomorrow there'll be sun. Oh, just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. When you're stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, you just stick out your chin and you grin and you say, the sun will come out tomorrow. So you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. You're always a day away.
Yes. Absolutely.
Now that's my song. Tomorrow's gonna be a better day.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
You're welcome, baby.
Well done. Thank you so much for coming tonight, Miss Yo-Yo Show, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for availing yourself and your time to be on the TR News and Reviews. God bless you. Thank you for that, and I will see you again in the next show. All right, so that was
You've muted yourself.
um, right. So that was Miss Yo-Yo Show, of course, trying to scare me with them eyes. But because how beautifully she sang, then I was still happy regardless of her staring at me like that. Anyway, we have arrived at the end of the show, and here with me right now is Aisha, and I want to say thank you so much for being who you are. You know,
Thank
the
you.
undiluted version of a person. You know, you never hide who you are. You know what to say to whom, but you never really hide, you know, your passion and, you know, your soul. And I'm so happy. I don't know, probably it's me. Maybe it's me that is looking deeply into your system and that I see more than other people are seeing.
You're the
But
prophet.
whatever the case is, I want to say thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being wonderful. Thank you for being who you are. And, you know, the raw version, SF Rose say, raw Aisha. What you see is what you get. You know, there is nothing additional and there is nothing subtracted. It's just exactly right there. You see this? Oh, that's me. That is what you get. Happy 11/11 SF Rose. Thank you for saying that before it gets to 11/12. All right. Thank you very much. All
I
right.
did
So,
want to agree with Earth Talk 77. He said, and I can't see it, but he said something about when you know the truth. I don't know if I can scroll down. He said, if you can see the truth, you can understand it. And that's why I could tolerate it. For the longest, I was my mother's biggest mistake. And she knew it, but she didn't know how to express it. And that's a story within itself. But though I was her biggest mistake, in the end, I turned out to be one of her biggest blessings. And when I had my daughter out of wedlock. It was a continuous cycle. I asked God for a girl. And the reason why I asked for a girl was because I wanted my mother to have the opportunity to try to get it right. And that may sound so crazy because I was 17, pregnant, 18 when I had her. But that was my prayer, and it was a girl. And when I say her and my mother had the most beautiful relationship that I'd ever seen in my life. And I had no jealousy about it because it was what I prayed for, and God answered my prayer. But so I agree. When you know the truth, you can understand it. Not only that, the cycle was broken. My daughter didn't have a child out of wedlock. She had the most amazing relationship with my mom. We got to joke about it sometimes because I know it was stuff that I got smacked for that she would do. And I look at my mom like, I know she finna hit her, and she didn't get hit. But it was beautiful to see her be a grandmother. So she wasn't the best mother. I've never lied about it, but I'll never take away the fact that she was an amazing grandmother.
all right. With that said, thank you for your input,
Thank you. I love you
Aisha.
guys.
Love you too. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again as soon as possible. I'm not sure if Tommy Travels is live right now. If he's live, that's where we're going. If not, we're just gonna jump off of here right now. But I want to say thank you so much, Aisha, for being here. God bless you until we meet
God
again.
bless you. Thank you. Love you.
All right, and with that said, we have arrived at the end of the program. I want to say for those of you who walk, walk good. For those of you who talk, talk good. For those of you who drive or fly, whatever you do out there, do it safe, and may God bless you all. Until we meet again, this is the TR News and Reviews, and I'm yours truly, TR Neorex, representing for the TR Show and the TR News and Reviews. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. God bless you. Have a peaceful night. Have a wonderful night. Until we meet again, I am yours truly again, TR Neorex. And if you're new here and you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do consider subscribing. And if you had not given the stream a like or a share, it is not too late. You can still do that. Thank you so much for coming. And I want to just jump on quickly and say, Earth Talk 777, your comments are absolutely amazing. Sometimes I wonder if you're typing from a book. Your comments are on point, they are realistic, they are amazing, they are truth, they are biblical, they are according to the law. You are just overall an amazing personality. Thank you so much, Earth Talk, for being here.